Creating a character in Untold Destiny is straightforward. Decide what setting the table will be using, from gritty, low fantasy, normal fantasy or high fantasy. Check to see if the optional reroll rule is being used, allowing you to reroll if you get fewer than 2 14s or higher, or have 3 8s or lower. In Untold Destiny, there are 6 attributes that define your character. These are Strength, Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. Their modifiers are used when making any skill test or saving throw. They are also used for your starting hit points, stamina, and spell points if you're a caster. Let's roll some attributes. For Gritty, roll 3d6 and either place them in order from Strength to Charisma or allocate them as you wish. For Normal, roll 4d6, dropping the lowest, and either place them in order from Strength to Charisma or allocate them as you wish. We will be using this for our new character. For High Fantasy, roll 5d6, dropping the 2 lowest and allocating them as you wish. For a balanced approach, you can use the points buy system, purchasing the attributes as you see fit. Let's roll our attributes, taking 4d6 and dropping the lowest. Wow, these are looking pretty good. One very low one, but the rest are really decent. Think about the kind of character you would like to play, given your attributes, using figures from history or literature as a starting point. There is no shame in wanting to be a Legolas or Aragorn-like character, and no one ever wants to be a Gimli. For this video, we will be creating a Master at Arms, an expert with weapons and armor. Let's allocate our attributes. I think a 17 Strength and 16 Constitution is a great start. 15 into Wisdom will give us a bonus fate point. That could be a lifesaver. The 8 goes into Dexterity. We won't be dodging attacks, evading fireballs, or that great with light melee or projectile weapons. Finally, the 2 12s go into Intelligence and Charisma. This will also give us 48 hit points and 6 stamina. The next step is selecting, or let fate decide, the race of our character. All races have an attribute adjustment indicating the strength and weakness, and, with the exception of human, may select 1 or 2 attributes to receive a +2 bonus. For each attribute receiving a bonus, another attribute must take a -2 penalty. Attributes also have a maximum value, depending on the race chosen. There are 5 races available in the Adventurer's Guide. They are Dwarf, Elf, Gnome, Human, and Maethor. Dwarves are slow, and are the only race with dark vision. They are resistant to poison, and can carry heavy loads without penalty. Elves have long vision, allowing them to see over great distances. They also have an affinity with Aether, granting them resistance to Aether damage and the ability to sense strong magical auras. Gnomes have low light, able to see in the shadowy light as though it were daylight. They are natural creators and can master more general skills than other races. Humans are adaptable, gaining a bonus to a single attribute, so long as it doesn't take them above their maximum. They also gain 2 additional bonus features and wildcard proficiency points and stamina. Maethor also have low light, and their battle sense allows them to roll an additional 1d20 when rolling for initiative. They can also master more combat skills than other races, and wear armor like a second skin, ignoring the penalties to their skills whilst in medium or heavy armor. We will let fate decide which race to go. We got a 17, which, using the weighted chart, gives us a human. Our character begins to take shape. We increase our charisma by 2, increasing our stamina in the process, and making a note of the 2 wildcard proficiencies and bonus features we can spend. If you're enjoying this video, why not give us a like and subscribe, and please leave a comment, it really helps us with the algorithms. The next step is to choose, or let fate decide, our heritage. Our heritage represents our origin, where we are from. It may be that our family were originally from there, or that we were born and raised there. This heritage is a part of our being. As they say, you can take the dwarf out of the Colton Reaches, but you cannot take the Colton Reaches out of the dwarf. Our chosen heritage will provide certain benefits, like our starting language, which skills we are focused in, granting us an additional 1d20 when making skill tests, a special feature that provides a bonus to one of our attributes in addition to other benefits. There are 15 heritages in the Adventurer's Guide, covering all 10 major cultural locations and 5 neighbouring empires and nations. We will let fate decide which heritage our character has. Using the weighted table, we roll 1d6 followed by 1d20. The d6 gives us a 4, the d20 gives us an 8. We're from Linchet. Linchet is a fortress town protecting the farming communities that feed the Protectorate. Located a few days' journey from the capital, Harbour, it is the home of hard-working farming folk. Our heritage means we can speak, read, and write Jezku, the language of harbour. We also gain the Farmer's Almanac, granting us an increase of +1 wisdom and a boon when dealing with domesticated animals like horses or mules. We can also pick 4 skills from a shortlist and gain focus in those skills. I think athletics, beast handling, blacksmithing, and endurance will work well with this character. Our character takes shape as we continue to fill in the character sheet, a human with strong ties to Clinchet and agricultural heritage. The next step is to choose, or let fate decide, our family's status, their position within society. It will have shaped our initial upbringing and influenced how others accepted us and our opportunities in life. Our chosen family will provide certain benefits. Any additional languages we start with, any training we have in general, combat or rogue skills, our inheritance, wealth that can be spent on starting equipment, a special feature that provides a benefit that is unique to our choice. Each family will have at least 2 options to choose from. There are 12 families within the Adventurer's Guide covering the major social ranks within society. Using the weighted table, we will again let fate decide which family our Master-at-Arms is from. We roll 1d20. We get an 18. Wow, our family are renegades. What an unexpected twist. Renegades give us access to speaking, reading and writing trade tongue and 1 other language. I think Scortian would fit the character, the language of the dwarves from the Colton Reaches. Maybe our family has underworld ties to that place. We become proficient in the bluff, persuasion, gather information, and investigation skills. We can also choose 2 more skills from a small list. I think our character would have become proficient in herbalism and performance. Looking at the 2 special traits, I think threat to the family suits our character better. A family enforcer. We become proficient in intimidation and receive a greater boon when using it to extract information or demoralize opponents in combat. Our character is really shaping up, from a criminal family in Clinchet working as an enforcer, maybe in one of the outlying farm towns like Towervale or Hillsborough, operating just the right side of the law to escape the enforcers. The next step in the creation process is selecting, or letting fate decide, our background. What did we do before the call of adventure? It may have been related to our class or completely different. The magic is weaving it into our backstory to create an interesting character. Our chosen background will provide certain benefits. Any training you have in general, combat or rogue skills, our earnings, wealth that can be spent on starting equipment, a special feature that provides a benefit that is unique to your choice. There are 32 backgrounds in the Adventurer's Guide. Using a random table, we will again let fate decide which background our Master-at-Arms has. Rolling 1d4, we get a 2, and rolling 1d8, we get a 1. We're an entertainer! A real twist that makes the backstory of this character ever more interesting. As an entertainer, we are proficient in the following skills: acrobatics, bluff, endurance, gather information, performance, and persuasion. If we are already proficient in the skill, we instead become an expert. We also gain the always welcomed special feature. We will have free board and lodgings and earn a few pennies each night if we're happy entertaining those around us. Our character, an enforcer for the Clinchet crime family, a bit of an entertainer, took leave of the family, wishing to live a worthy life, now travelling from place to place, using his performance skills to earn a meagre living whilst keeping a low profile. Will the family come looking for him? The next step in the creation process is selecting our class. We stated at the start that given our attributes, we would be choosing the Master-at-Arms. From the warrior archetype, the Master-at-Arms is an expert with all weapons and armors and gains the following. We have a hit dice that is rolled and added to our maximum hit points each time we level. Ours is a d12, and at first level, this is considered to be its maximum value, unless we were playing on a low fantasy setting, in which case it is rolled. Our constitution gives us 48 hit points, plus 12 from our hit dice is 60 hit points at first level. That sounds like a lot, but they can disappear quickly if you're not careful. Our saving throws are dictated by our class and indicate our ability to resist certain types of attack. When subject to that attack, we roll the number of d20s and take the highest, adding the appropriate attribute. If we get 20 or higher, we pass the save. A fireball would have a dexterity breath saving throw, whilst a poison cloud would be constitution breath. As a Master-at-Arms, we excel at resisting contact attacks, like poison blades or the petrifying touch of a cockatrice. We're not great at resisting gaze attacks or spells that do not come under one of the attacks above, like mind magics or illusions. We gain proficiency in armor, shields, and 4 other combat skills of our choice. Let's select medium melee, heavy melee, thrown, and unarmed. We have 1 fate point, with the bonus 1 from our high wisdom gives us 2. We also start with some weapons and armor and additional wealth to spend on equipment. We gain 4 bonus features which, with the 2 we get from being a human, gives us a total of 6. We also get 8 combat proficiency points and 5 general proficiency points to spend on skills. As a human, we also have the 2 wildcards to spend. Finally, we have 4 abilities. Combat Focus allows us to select 3 combat skills we are proficient in and gain focus in those skills. It also allows us to master any combat skill that we have focus in without it counting against our limit of only 1 mastered combat skill. This means we can master all our combat skills. Let's pick medium melee, throwing and shields. Finally, we can also master our armor skill without it counting against our limit of only 1 mastered combat skill. Battle Training gives us 4 martial bonus features for free, and for every 2 martial bonus features we have, we gain +1 stamina. This will make us a powerhouse when it comes to martial combat. Specialization will allow us to deal an extra weapon dice of damage with all weapons. This is unique to the Master at Arms and makes them excel with any weapon. This means we deal 2d8 damage with a longsword or 2d12 damage with a greatsword. Finally, we get recovery. When we take the recovery action, we roll 1d12 and recover stamina equal to half the result, rounded up, and hit points equal to the result plus our level. As healing is limited, this is our primary means of recovering hit points and stamina. Knowing when to use your action to recover is key to survival. We have 3 sets of proficiency points to spend. These points are used to train skills, with a point being spent to increase the skill from untrained to proficient, from proficient to expert, or from expert to master. We can also spend 3 proficiency points to gain focus in a skill. There is a limit of only being able to attain master in 1 general and 1 combat skill. Rogue skills cannot be mastered unless our class gives us the ability to do so. We have 5 general proficiency points. We also have 8 combat proficiency points. We received 2 wildcard proficiency points as a human. Wildcards can be spent on general and combat skills. If we had proficiency or higher in at least 1 rogue skill, they could also be spent on rogue skills. Our backstory so far has us in Lynchette, a farming community, as an enforcer for a crime family, but also something of a performer and entertainer. For general skills, we will train in athletics twice, endurance, intimidation, and performance, taking it to master. I think that's quite fitting. For combat skills, we will train twice in medium melee, heavy melee, shields, and armor, taking them all to master. The 2 wildcards will also be spent to train throwing twice, taking that to master too. We can now customize our character through the purchasing of bonus features. There are 275 bonus features across 5 categories. 31 general bonus features cover improvements to general skills, poison use, hit points, and stamina bonuses. 38 class bonus features provide improvements to the 25 classes, enhancing some of their abilities. 66 martial bonus features provide all the tools and options for martial combat, from lunging, cleaving, rapid firing, dual wielding, protecting your allies, riposting, and getting the most out of your armor. There are even special grapple bonus features allowing you to fling your foes or use them as weapons against their allies. 19 metamagic bonus features provide a caster all the tools they need to alter their spells, changing the element, increasing the range, quickening the casting, or enhancing the area of effect. 120 devotion bonus features provide priests and other devout classes access to the specialized areas of their god, from combat to weather, the elements, and crafting to witchery. We have 6 bonus features and 4 martial bonus features to choose. And for every 2 martial bonus features we have, we also increase our stamina by 1. From the general list, let's take 2. Enhanced Recovery allows us to roll 2d8 when making a recovery test instead of 1d12. We can recover more hit points and stamina. Improved Initiative allows us to roll an additional 1d20 when rolling for initiative, meaning we roll 2d20 and take the highest, and then add our intelligence modifier for our total initiative. We will spend the final 8 bonus features on the martial list. Armored Grappler prevents the penalties to athletics for wearing heavy armor, not only making us better when grappling, but also jumping or climbing. Cleave is a special attack that costs stamina and allows us to target 2 opponents in melee. Expert Parry allows us to spend stamina to add 1d6 to a parry test. This is great for defense. Flat of the Blade allows us to deal subdual damage without the usual penalties of halving the damage dealt. As an enforcer, we would want to hurt and capture, not kill our foes. Power Tear allows us to spend stamina to inflict the bleeding condition on anyone who takes damage from our heavy weapons. Combined with Cleave, this can inflict a ton of damage on our foes. Riposte will allow us to spend stamina and deal half our weapon damage back to anyone we parry. When parrying with a heavy weapon, we can also use Power Tear, stacking up those bleeding conditions. Furious Stance will allow us to take the stance at the start of a round, and then by spending stamina, we can increase our damage by 1d10. There is so much synergy here, but it all takes stamina. We'd better make sure we have a load. Finally, Warcry will allow us to spend stamina to use the Demoralize action as a swift action, affecting all opponents within 30 feet of us. This also works well with the special feature from our family. With 8 combat bonus features, we also increase our stamina by 4, bringing us up to 13. Not bad. We can now spend our starting wealth on extra gear. Our family gives us 1d10 wealth, our background gives us 2d10 earnings, and our class gives us 3d10. That's 6d10 times 20 pennies in starting wealth. Rolling, we get 33. Multiply that by 20 pennies, and we get 660 pennies, or 6 florins and 60 pennies to spend on additional equipment. We already have some weapons and armor. It's all about rounding off our gear from the vast equipment section in the Adventurer's Guide. Not only do we have many weapons, all with strengths and roles they excel in, to choose from, but we also have general adventuring gear, kits for use in the field, and special flasks, oils, and bombs. As we have the herbalism skill, I think a herbalism kit would be advantageous. We can, during our camp downtime, create flasks to help us during our travels. Once your gear has been purchased, it's time to do the final checks on your character sheet. Write up any armor, shields, and weapons you have. Your secondary saving throws are set to 1d20 each. Your wound threshold is equal to a quarter of your total hit points. This is important when resisting automatic wounds from overflow damage. One final check on the character sheet to make sure everything is correct, checking your encumbrance penalties, if any, and you are ready to go. Now's the hard part. You need a name. We have a Master at Arms, able to close with their foes, cleaving through them. An expert at parrying, and then following up with a riposte, leaving bleeding wounds when using a heavy weapon or entering a furious stance with a medium weapon. We have great skills, but there is plenty of room for improvement. Even though we are well trained, we can be brought down quickly by powerful foes. There is so much to learn. On the run from our crime family, we probably go by an alias, having changed our identity, and coming across as more of a troubadour than a family enforcer. That's not to say we did not learn helpful abilities, like demoralizing our foes or knocking them senseless when we need them alive. Creating a character in Untold Destiny is straightforward, and you will end up with a sense of belonging in the world, a fleshed out character with the start of a real backstory. They are competent and ready to answer the call of adventure. What kind of character would you like to create in Untold Destiny? I thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please drop a like and leave a comment. It really helps a small channel like this. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so and click the notification bell to be informed of our new videos.